Hello, and welcome to the Catcast with your host, Kat Kennison, as always. And we have Kitty here, but she's going to leave probably right away. I don't know. Maybe she'll stay. We'll see if she stays, hangs out today with us or not. But welcome in to the Catcast. A little unusual here, trying to get everything going with the cat here in position. But I got a peach or salmon colored shirt on today. Oh, you can kind of see my nipple through there. Oh, look at my nipple. Just kidding. That's a peck, right? Is that a peck? All right, I'm probably gonna made fun of this on this one. Anyways, we've got a great cat cast for you today. Sorry. We'll see how it goes. Kitty's going to. If she starts hitting those shades, we're going to have issues because I'm not going to put up with that. But if she's going on the porch, that's fine. We've got several topics to talk about today, and we're going to get right to them, of course. She left, of course. No problem. We don't do the show with the cat in mind. We just like it when she hangs out. But we're going to do our cast the way we always do it to keep everybody entertained and informed. First thing we're talking about today is CEOs and making tough decisions. And sometimes you have to trust in your CEO and what they're doing. We have Gavin Newsum. Apparently, Joe Rogan isn't interested in having him on the show. And Cat would love to have him on the Catcast. So, Gavin Newsum, governor of California, since Joe Rogan's not interested in having you on the Joe Rogan Experience, maybe you could come and meet Kat Kennison on the Catcast and try to sell yourself on the world, on America, to be the next president. I'm okay with that. Come on my show, my podcast, and we can even do it remotely. Yeah, you don't even have to come to me. I will remotely do this thing, but I'm going to have some tough questions for you. I'm going to have tough questions for you, and I'm not telling you ahead of time what they are. But you'll get some exposure, and it could be good. You know, Cat's very down the line, neutral, centered. I'm very neutral and centered, right? Not at all. I don't want this thing beeping. Normally, I always turn down all my stuff so we don't have that going on. Nothing's more annoying than beeping going on, right? When you're trying to listen to a podcast and there's beeping in the background. That's awful. Yeah. Okay, what else are we doing? Oh, we're covering the protest, what happened during the protest. Of course, we talked about that a lot, so we won't cover it too much, but we got to cover it a little bit. We got parenting. There are issues today with parenting on whether you believe in corporate punishment, should you spank, how should you discipline, stuff like that. How strict should you be? That's always a great topic for discussion. And Old versus New Testament. The Old versus the New Testament. I have a lot to say about that. Maybe that will be our biggest topic for today, but we shall see how it goes. You never know how Cat's going to talk. You know how I am. I'm sometimes all over the place, but nevertheless, we will dive right in and see what we get, how it goes. You know, we don't really know until I go. All right. So CEO, as a channel owner on the CB app, sometimes I have to make decisions that affect the channel, and but you can't always have everybody weigh in on every decision you might make, because it could be. It's just sometimes you got to go with your gut on a decision, and the people that support you underneath you in the as your admins, your channel supporters, they have to trust sometimes that you're doing something that you think is going to be beneficial in the long run. Maybe they don't see it right away, but you have to somehow. They have to know that, you know, your goal is to grow a channel and to, get as many users on there as you can that are good users that like to talk or listen or whatever. That's the point that we always want to grow. Grow the app, grow the channel, get more users involved, because the more people, the more interesting. More personalities, the more interesting. Sometimes things don't go great and people make mistakes, but sometimes you got to give them chances, because that's what Jesus would do, and that's what Kat likes to do. Now I'm not going to give people chances that are just going to spit in my face, but other people that show true remorse or, seem like, they want to be forgiven or let back in, that's something that Kat takes very seriously, because that's the way Jesus would be. He's not someone that wanted to exclude people. He wanted to include, not exclude, include. And if you're constantly judging, then you won't include. And so sometimes you've got to not you can judge to a point, but there's only so much that you can't judge people's lives when all you know is what you hear. When all of it is just folklore or gossip. That's something that is, in my mind, something you have to be careful about, because reputations and stuff can be damaged with those accusations without necessarily evidence or proof or even knowing the context. And so it's a tough person being a CEO, and that's probably why they're paid a lot of money, because they have to make tough decisions. And it's hard, for sure, what you do. And you might make a mistake, but you have to do things sometimes. And you just hope you're doing what is in the best interest of everything. You just have to hope you are doing what you can do. And I'm constantly learning. It's a constant battle to make sure I'm doing what's right and not what is going to be disruptive. And but I keep plugging away, doing the best I can. And I guess that's all I'll say about it. It's hard, though. For people that think it's an easy thing to do, there's a reason that they pay them a lot of money, because usually there's a lot of stuff they have to deal with. I'm not even getting paid for this particular job, and it is an enormous undertaking. You really should get paid for it. But it's a good thing, I think, as well. So, all right, let's move on to Gavin Newsum. So apparently there's been a feud going on between them, and Joe Rogan said something like "bok bok bok" back to Gavin Newsum. He wants to get on the show and get a little publicity, but I don't know if he's going to be that good at answering Joe Rogan's questions. I think he would be like a deer in headlights. He's pretty smooth, but with 3 hours with Joe Rogan, he would definitely get to the beat of the drum with Mr. Gavin Newsum. Right now, he's just been doing all the really nice podcasts that don't ask him any hard questions. They don't even ask him about why he's crossing his legs like that. I don't like podcasts that are super wide like that, too. My one friend said mine was too tight, so I went and made it a little bit wider. But some of those podcasts are so wide, and I'm like, I don't like it. Maybe it's because they're just doing one camera, but I hate it. I mean, I'm like, can you split the screen or something? because the showing the whole room and stuff is just boring to me, and looking at their legs and stuff is also not something I'm into. They're not ladies, they're dudes. So I don't really know why they do it. I'm assuming it's for one camera, but I'd rather they split the screen into multiple views or something. Figure something out. I don't like the one camera. I like them where they have different cameras. I don't know. I guess I'm more into some production. Now, when here it's just me, we don't need multiple cameras because you only need to look at me. But on a podcast where there's 2 or 3 people, you should have a camera on each person and then maybe a wide shot if you want. But I think the tight shots are always more interesting. You know, I don't think you need to see legs and all the floor and all that. It's just uninteresting stuff. Right now, I probably should point mine back up. You know, probably showing too much floor. All right. But Gavin, please, come on the Catcast. I'm not huge yet, but I could get bigger. You never know. Could be huge. You know, if you come on my show, you could really pump my show up. That's kind of what I'm wanting, actually, Gavin. Why don't you give me some publicity? We could help each other. It's a win-win. Yeah, what do you think? I want to do it, Gavin. I think, hey, you can really shove it to Joe Rogan, who I would love to be friends with, but I don't know the guy. But hey, you say, hey, you don't want me, Mr. Rogan? I will go on the Catcast then with Cat Kennison. Yeah, he'll have me on there. He'll be cool. It'll be better. It'll be much better. The cat has a great interviewer. Actually, I've never interviewed anybody. It'll be my first time ever. So you might as well see how I can do. I should start writing down questions and get ready for it, because maybe it'll happen. What do you think, people? Can I interview Gavin Newsum? Can I do a podcast with him? Probably not. I could, if he wanted to. Wanted to meet me. We could do something. It could be really cool. It could be interesting. You know, a whole new aspect to the Catcast with interviews and stuff. Take calls, you know. Have them ask questions, you know, stuff like that. That'd be great. I got all kinds of ideas, Gavin. Come on, Gavin. Think about it. Gavin and the Cat. Got a nice ring to it. Gavin's going on the Cat Show with Cat Kennison. The Catcast. You ever heard of it? No, never heard of that. Well, it's going to be big, because we're going to make it blow up. My one friend runner, he's always like, come on, you're going to blow up one of these days. It's going to be huge. You're going to be huge. Just waiting for it to happen. It's going to happen one of these days. I'm like, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Could be fun, though. Could be fun, you know. My other friend asked me to do some photography. He's like, hey, has your Catcast blown up yet? Or are you still doing photography? I said, I'm still doing photography. He's like, okay, because I need some in a week or two. I'm like, all right, then. We'll do it. Ciao, ciao. So that's exciting. All right. Yeah, we did about a little bit on that. I don't know what else I can say about it. I just want you to come on, Gavin. Give me a shot. Give me a shot. Give me a shot. Give the Catcast a shot with you. We want to interview. We're going to do one. We're going to make it great with Cat Kennison. Never mind where I got that jingle from. All right, the protest. All right, we'll go to the protest now. So I've watched more footage, and I had to talk to one of my friends about it, and he's like, the reason they protest is because there are not many of them, he said, and they gotta go out force and make it look like there's a lot of them, he said, because there's not. They're the minority. They're the people are the minority, not minorities in the skin color, but minorities as in what they believe. And I was like, oh, yeah, he is right. And then I asked him, but does it do anything? Oh, no. The protest does nothing. Changes nothing. So I was right on that. It's a totally worthless endeavor, but they do it because it makes it look like they have a lot of people in there believing what they believe. But then when you go and you ask the actual people what they don't like specifically, they got nothing. They can't bring up one stinking thing. I saw it interview after interview. Well, what specifically, just everything that he does, it's taken away. But what specifically is he doing? Uh, 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 mm. It was like, you know, crickets, they got nothing. The one lady looked down and you thought she was praying or something. I think she was trying to think of, why the hell are we out here? What is he doing? Because they don't have a point. They really have nothing to their argument. No kings is because they don't have a good slogan to put on there. No kings is, we don't have anything to really pick on, so we just say, no king, 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 no king. We don't have a king. One lady said that she wished death on our president. She wished death on him. I think a king would probably get you for that. I don't think Putin would even put up with that. Is that lady in any kind of danger? No. Nope. Not at all. Not at all. So she didn't actually threaten it. She just wished that she woke up and he would be dead like that. Like he has some sort of condition or something. She wasn't actually threatening him, because that we have to take really serious. She just wished him to die. Wake up and he's dead. That's an awful thing for someone to wish on anybody. And it's quite disgusting to me. I'm appalled. I never really wished that on Biden. I just didn't like his policies, but I would never wish death on him. I didn't wish cancer on him. It sounds like, though, a lot of these protesters would be wishing cancer on Trump. If they want him to die, they would be wishing all this awful stuff. To me, that is just disgusting. And if that's what you guys are really for, you're sick. And you really should denounce people like that and say that's ridiculous. But I don't really hear them doing that. That's why I'm kind of like thinking this side is just crazy. Because the other people behind, nobody went up to her and said, hey, that's kind of over the top, miss. They're all behind her just smiling away. Oh, you think that's nice, what she just said, huh? That's a pretty gross thing. Pretty repugnant, actually. Yeah. That's just Kat's opinion on it, though. I hope that lady doesn't have children. But maybe she does. But if her children see that, I would be so ashamed. I mean, they if any of the kids' friends know that mom, they're going to think lesser of them because of that statement. And if they don't, then there's another issue. Because that's serious stuff. You just shouldn't be wishing this kind of crap on people. It's just getting ridiculous. I mean, seriously. Wishing death on people is just absurd. Cat's lost sometimes with you guys. Let's move on. Parenting. So we had a debate today, and it was on discipline and whether you should use corporal punishment and stuff on children. And I'm not a parent, so far be it from me to actually give much parenting advice. But I was a child, and so I'm going to give that experience for you. As a child, I was spanked with a wooden spoon. Very, very few times, because I was never doing things on purpose. It was mostly accidental things. But thinking back, I shouldn't have been punished that way. I should have been explained what I did wrong so I wouldn't do it in the future, rather than just instant punishment type of thing. And I learned then to be real careful about things and actually ask before I did anything, because I was afraid of getting punished. And then as I got older, I wasn't afraid of corporal punishment, but then I was afraid of other punishment. And I learned that if I was honest, I got the same punishment than if I lied. So I learned, why would I be honest then? I'm going to take a chance on lying and not getting caught. Not a good message to send to a child. Now, I see other friends of mine or acquaintances, whatever, of that from other people that have been super overprotective of their children or super disciplinarian. And those kids generally, when they hit 18, go crazy because they finally have their freedom. I don't think that's a good method either. I think you need to have kind of a middle ground. You don't want to be loosey-goosey either, because then they'll walk all over you. But I think the best thing is to always talk to your kids, and you want to make sure they feel comfortable telling you things, because otherwise they'll lie, and they won't tell you the truth. And I don't think that's a good structure for a family. And that's all I was saying earlier when I talked on the CB, is that you don't want to make your kids afraid of you, and you don't want to make them not trust you, because then they're not going to tell you the most important things in their life, and you will be lost, and instead they'll be confiding in other people that may not give them good advice. And that's all I was saying. I would not do it if I had children. There's just no way I'm going to use corporal punishment with children. We don't do it to adults, but we're going to do it to the weakest among us. I don't think it was right. I don't think it is right. And that's just me as being a child and going through it. So it was. It's a tough thing to talk about because everybody's had their own experiences. And I guess people say, well, it worked on me, it's fine. But my opinion is it's a counterproductive way. And this is going to move into our last topic of Old versus New Testament. So some people were bringing up the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child. There's some other verses, but then one of our users brought up the point that the rod was more like a shepherd's stick that was directing you the right direction, more than something that you were going to be beaten with, like today you might think. But the Old Testament is very much be afraid of your Lord. Be afraid of damnation or whatever he might do to you. You better be loyal because you're afraid. The New Testament is much more about love than fear. The Lord loves you. He wants to save your life so you can have everlasting life with him and eternal kingdom of heaven. It's all about love, reward-based instead of fear-based. That works better, in my opinion. Love works better than fear. Fear can motivate you, but it doesn't motivate you in the right way. It just motivates you out of fear. And at a certain point, that fear turns into hate or anger about the fear, where love is a much better place to come from. You want to be part of it because it's loving, it's engaging, it's going to give you everlasting life. You're going to be happy, free, all that is much better than the fear of what will happen if you're not good. And that's basically the difference. Why did they divide up the old and the new? If not for that reason. One is before Jesus and one is after Jesus, right? But there's a big difference. And maybe God realized that fear wasn't working as a motivating factor, and love was a better factor, Now, in society, fear works better to manage criminals because they're not afraid of hell, most of them. if they're not brought into a faith. And so we use that in society, but you don't want to use that for faith. It's just not effective. I mean, if all I had to hear, if you remember the movie Pollyanna, and they go to the church, and the guy is always giving these damnation scriptures and stuff to make you just feel awful while you're there. And Pollyanna ended up talking to him and convincing him to start doing the good tidings in the Bible instead of the scary ones. And it was an amazing effect on changing how people felt after the service that day. You know, you should watch that movie and realize what I'm talking about. Even Pollyanna knew it in the movie. What they were doing is not a productive means of persuasion. Love is. Men will do just about anything for a woman they love. Just about anything. They're not going to do that for someone they fear. But for someone they love, you bet they would. They would die for most women that they love. A man would. A real man would take the bullet, do whatever he had to do to protect his lady. That's love, you know. Really, a man that's in love with his lady is never going to think about cheating. Never in his life would he think about that, because he's so loyal and in love with the lady he's with. Fear doesn't keep a man loyal. You know, all kinds of men might have all kinds of things that they can lose if they cheat. You know, there are things where you get half of the stuff. But a man that loves a lady, he's not going to do that. He's never going to even think about breaking his vow. Love is the superior force. And that's why God probably noticed that the way we love women is probably the way he needed to motivate us. And that's why Jesus ended up having to come in the first place, to change the whole process that was set in place that wasn't working originally. And that's what a CEO does, so that's what God had to do. This wasn't working. I changed to the love, and now everything is great. Hasn't had to have a flood since then. Sure, we've got bad things going on now, but faith is still strong, and the love of fellow man is still here. And I don't know. I think we've evolved. I hope we have. I hope God is proud of us. I hope we make him proud. That's my most. That's what I hope the most, that we make him proud of his creation, because he created us. And if you're a parent, I think what makes you most proud is when your child grows up and becomes better, and you get to see that. And so I imagine that's a wonderful feeling for God and for Jesus. All right. I guess, let's see how much. Oh, man, I timed this baby perfectly. Ho, I'm getting good. Cha-ba-cha. Man, we're right at 29. That was perfect, huh? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm doing good. Something just told me. I think we're wrapped up. I didn't have anything else to say. We've covered all the topics. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 topics. I can always do 5 topics, it seems. As long as I stick onto them, I'm pretty good at doing the 5 topics. But this has been fantastic. All right. I am ecstatic that you guys came and joined me again for another one of these podcasts. I'm ashamed that I wore this funny-looking pink shirt, but hey, it makes for a different color. I'm always trying to have a different colored shirt on, so you see it's a different episode and a different day, you know. All right, people. All right, we will catch you guys tomorrow. This is your host, Kat Kennison, giving you a cha-ba-cha. Love you, people. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, now. Bye.